This is a PowerPoint presentation on how to be an American citizen, or more accurately, what values make up a democracy. Section 1. Types of government. Before elaborating on democracy, it is worth briefly overviewing the other types of government that lead into the development of a democracy. The first of these is an anarchy, which is no government. No society starts with a government embedded into it, and it is through this time of chaos that some people realize that in order to develop, they need order. So, in order to maintain order, the people instate a single person in power, or a monarch specifically. In monarchies, one individual attains divine right to rule over the collective whole of people. The next generation of monarchs is usually decided whenever the previous one passes away. The nobles, seeking power for themselves, decide to overthrow the monarch and form a government of their own. An oligarchy consists of multiple individuals ruling over people just in order to keep the richest in power. This is not a good idea for anyone, as the peasants, who do not have money and therefore do not get power, stage a revolt and decide to overthrow the current government once again. This time deciding to put an individual person with the will of the people in power. This can be good or bad, once again, depending on situation. One person being put in power like this results in a tyranny, in most cases. One person rules with absolute power. The people, now arguably having less rights than before, decide to stage one more revolt in order to put themselves in power so that they themselves can maintain the will of their own people. This now forms a democracy, in which the people meet together to have laws put into place and vote on societal regulations that are deemed necessary. Section 2. History of Democracy. Following the Revolutionary War, the Founding Fathers of the United States formed a democracy with a little bit extra put into it just to ensure that they would still have some power. This is called a republic. How a republic works is people elect officials to make decisions for them, instead of the people making decisions themselves. There are still votes cast, but those polls are taken to the elected officials to be decided upon. Then those elected officials cast a vote with the previous ballots in mind, and only then is the vote decided upon. Democracy is significant because it does provide an essence of power to the people. Not completely, as in order to place the government into chaos, but enough to get people to exert what they want and make it known to the government without staging revolts. This is the United States Constitution. The United States Constitution was drafted by America's founding fathers during the development of the United States post-Revolutionary War. It simply laid out the foundation of the United States, as you would expect, but also it contains the draft of the three main branches of government, which would continue functioning pretty much the same way they do today. Section 3. Branches of government. The legislative branch consists of the lawmakers of the United States, consisting of two major parties, the House of Representatives and the Senate. Both parties form together to make up Congress. The role of Congress is to maintain the power of the executive branch in order to ensure the president does not abuse their power and rule over the country like a tyrant. The executive branch is the primary branch of enforcement and can be a source of enacting laws. It is led by the president, and the president can pass immediate orders and make laws on a whim through an executive order. The judicial branch is the entire court system of the United States, and it decides whether or not someone has or has not broken a law and the punishment of those who have. The judicial branch is made up of a bunch of local courts, but mostly is controlled exclusively by the Supreme Court, actually. Arguably the most powerful governmental force. However, it does not have the power to enforce its own declarations, but rather monitor the legislative branch in order to make sure the laws that they pass are fair and just to the people. Section 4. Civil liberties and civil rights. Civil liberties are defined as individual rights protected by law from unjust governmental interference. Civil rights are defined as the natural rights of citizens to social and political freedom and equality, which just means that people are entitled to their own beliefs, and any act upon infringing upon a person's rights are not acceptable by any circumstances. Civil liberties are more so geared towards a community, and civil rights are more geared towards the individual. Section 5. The media. The media, while taken for granted in modern society, is used to provide information to the public by reporting and commentating upon proceedings within the government. This allows people to stay informed about what's going on and not feel cheated whenever something goes wrong or right. The media keeping the public informed ensures that people will be aware of what is going on at all times, and can provide significant feedback if what their government is doing is unjust in their eyes. Various websites and media platforms used by most people consist of YouTube, very political websites like Twitter, podcast websites, news websites, and other things.